going to take me a few minutes to get situated. Try that. All right. Good. Rubber boots on the left. Stuff on the right. All right. I'm going to wait and see who joins. You think I would have one pen that works? I don't know. Can't find a pen that works. Oh my God. I don't have any pens, guys. What the heck? All right. Out of 50, I have one pen. I'm going to look at my notes. I know I said I was going live at noon. When you join, make sure you say, hey, so I know you guys can hear me. Tell me if I'm talking too loud. The video I did about the birthday party, somebody should have told me I was talking too loud. Like, people that are close to me, send me a message if I'm talking too loud. All right. I'm going to try this. All right. All my camera stuff is here for outdoor filming and all that. Maybe it should be better. Please let me know if you can hear me and if I'm talking too loud. All right, so you can hear me. Thank you, Scott. All right. Hey, what time is it in there? All right. So it is Sunday, March 30th. I was going to wait a few minutes to see who joins. I'm just going to get situated here. I've had a lot of messages over the last 2 weeks, and I sort of just I'm making notes. Today I also had 3 more questions that I have to address, and I've had a lot of inquiries about puppies and how it works and what will possibly be available and basically how we do things here at Bella Vista English Mastiffs. I had some really good feedback from some people out in Alaska. My Alaska viewers, I appreciate you. I love them questions. Keep them coming. For those of you that have been following us here on our YouTube channel, Bella Vista English Mastiffs, for a while, it's really important. I hate to sound cliche, but if you would subscribe, I would appreciate it because I need YouTube. I need to be in that algorithm. Now, I'm probably not saying it correctly, but if you are subscribed, it sends YouTube positivity on me and my file, on my whatever you call it, and then they will promote the channel to other dog breeders. And so basically I would like to consider myself first and foremost in the dog realm. I am a English Mastiff or Mastiff advocate. I'm an advocate for all animals, but I fell in love with this majestic breed when I was a kid. Hi, Lily. I fell in love with this breed when I was a kid. My father had Mastiffs. He wanted to have the same kind of Mastiffs as Marlon Brando. And so fell in love with Mastiffs like that. And so like with horses, I basically studied the breed. I was always enamored with the breed. I think that for those of us that the Mastiff stands out to us, and we love all the whole characteristic, the appearance and everything. I don't know, we call ourselves lifers on the page. Everybody that's been, and I've been breeding dogs for about 30 years. I bred horses for a while. I showed AQHA, did some barrel racing and all that. But my passion, our passion here at Bella Vista English Mastiffs, is having this majestic breed in our life, making sure we are doing everything possible to care for and be an advocate for this breed. Now, why would I be an advocate for the breed? Because people hear Mastiff and they think like guard dog, attack dog. Mastiffs, English Mastiffs, our lines, they are not attack dogs. They are a guard dog in the sense that they're very family oriented. So they're not guard dogs. They are more family members that look out for each other. And the Mastiff is incredible. They have a really good mind if you have good lines. And if they are bred correctly, they have an unparalleled temperament around very small children and elderly. And they're very versatile in families. Now, that being said, they are also a deterrent for crime. Again, we go back to, you want to make sure you are breeding the best bloodlines with, I know I sound redundant, consistent generational genetic testing. Why is that important? Because giant breed dogs inherently have health issues. And that's what a lot of breeders don't tell you. Giant breed dogs, this is considered a giant breed. Giant breed dogs inherently have health issues. That's the Great Dane, the Rottweiler, the Dalmatian, the German Shepherd, all those tall, masculine-looking breeds all inherently have health issues. Now, how do you avoid that? How do you avoid that? You have to find a breeder that has bloodlines that where they do consistent generational genetic testing. Meaning, our dogs here and our pups, the parents, the grandparents, the aunts and uncles and cousins of your puppy are genetic tested. I don't want to get too much into, I don't want to come across like I'm being not compassionate or that I don't think all dogs are beautiful, because I do. However, when a giant breed dog is bred incorrectly, or I like to say, purebred does not mean well-bred. Purebred does not mean well-bred. Also, AKC is just a registry. So, purebred does not mean well-bred. Just because you have a male Mastiff and a female Mastiff does not mean they should be bred. It just doesn't. A breeding has to make sense. And the burden on good, ethical, moral breeders is simple. Are you going to be part of the problem, or are you going to be part of the solution? For me, I'm very, maybe to the point, I am very much an advocate for this breed, and I respect life. So I believe if you are breeding life, whether it's babies or any animal you're breeding, the burden is on you to be sure that if you can, do you understand that breeding life You're bringing something into this world that is going to live a long time. So for me, that is the burden that I have, is to make sure, what am I breeding? What are the genetics? And all that that implies. So whatever you are breeding, it is your duty and your job to make sure you have done all of the genetic testing pertaining to the breed you are breeding. Anything other than that is unacceptable. And I'm not the Mastiff police. I'm not the breeding police. I'm just telling you the way we feel here at Bella Vista, English Mastiffs. So we do not want to be part of the problem where shelters are full and there's backyard breeders. We are not backyard breeders. We are not a puppy mill. We breed strategically. Now, I'll touch on something real quick. I get asked all the time if people can buy a puppy, and then will I co-own that puppy with them and then breed that puppy from their location, and if I will possibly have the same thing with them that I have with Scott and Leona. And my answer to that is, any good working relationship does not happen in 5 minutes. 98% of the people that I know on social media, I've never met in person. So as far as Scott and Leona are concerned, I've known them for 7 years. She might have been on my page 8 years ago. I'm not sure. Long time. And we have, in that time, they lived handy us. So we spent a lot of time with them in person. We got to know them. We got to know their love for not just the Mastiff, but all animals. They also have spared no expense as far as the care and upkeep of their dogs. That means a lot to us. They're not just feeding garbage to their dogs. They're feeding what we have all discussed and consider the correct diet for a Mastiff. So, and they live in the state of Maine. That makes it easier. So I do have co-owns with Scott and Leona, and that has worked. Frequently, we will have a litter of puppies born at their location and or born up here. And so that is something that took years to cultivate. I have a very strong personality. Leona has a strong personality. Chris and Scott pretty well stay low key, just do it, support in any way they are asked to. But so it's a working thing. So I will tell you that Scott has some interest, financial interest, in Rain, Bella Vista's Sweet New England Rain. She will be shown at some point, maybe next summer, by Scott and Leona's grandsons, who are AKC junior handlers, and they represent Bella Vista English Mastiffs. She probably will be shown in southern Maine and possibly New Hampshire. We're looking at that. They have shown Serena and other dogs in the past for us. Their grandsons have represented us in the past. It works great. We love that, and we appreciate them for being able to do that. So I think if you are breeding dogs or any animal, the burden is for you to be sure you are not part of the problem. There are enough ill-bred puppies in shelters. And although every year we donate overstock or things that are going to date out, we do that. I donate to the shelters. Of course I do. I'm a humanitarian. That's what we do. But if you say, I won't buy from a breeder, I'm only going to buy from a shelter, you're not helping the problem. And I'm going to say something, and I don't want to make anybody mad, but sometimes I got to make people mad. There are a lot of good dogs that come from shelters. However, in the giant breed world, you should caution yourself because, as I said, giant breed dogs inherently have health issues, and unless you find a conscientious breeder of merit, a conscientious breeder of merit who we have dedicated our whole life to breeding up and to the standard and a better quality Mastiff. I can put my head on my pillow at night. Other breeders are like, you and your clients are so close. My God. And I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because I don't sell crappy dogs. I don't sell crappy puppies. And you will also notice that none of our clients are on other Facebook marketplace groups, Facebook Mastiff groups, crying about health issues or asking for advice. Why? And you will never see me advertising a litter of puppies on Facebook Marketplace. I've never done it. I never would. I may let somebody post a picture of the puppy, but absolutely never will you find anybody as a client or a member or a part of our team here at Bella Vista English Mastiffs advertising puppies on Facebook Marketplace. First of all, if you are part of our private Facebook group, Bella Vista English Mastiffs, you do have to ask to join that group. And the reason is we have a lot of military and law enforcement, nurses, doctors, lawyers on that page. They're on YouTube as well with me. They follow me as well. Our dog page, the private Bella Vista English Mastiffs Facebook page, is made up of a lot of people that we don't want to be one of those Mastiff groups where everybody's scamming people and there's bot pages on there and people become vulnerable. No, I want people to be safe on this group, my private Facebook group. They are safe to comment and show their name if they want to, and they don't have to worry about harassment or being trolled or being, solicited. Nobody's allowed to sell anything on my page unless it's something that we sell here that for your dog or your Mastiff, and nobody is allowed to advertise litters of puppies from other breeders and their lines on my private Facebook page. And the reason is when someone views a post on the private Facebook page, they can take for granted, they can know that any puppy they see is a pup that I bred or that belongs to one of my clients. So if you are joining the Facebook page, do not use that to advertise your own litter of puppies or to promote other lines and other breeders. And why do I say that? Because I've worked 30 years to hone the craft of breeding a quality dog ethically and morally. And I am a breeder of merit. We, our team, we are breeders of merit. That doesn't happen in 5 minutes. So, want to get that out of the way. You're welcome to join the Facebook page. If you are a real person, you're there to learn. You're there to appreciate the dogs. Maybe in the future you'd like a puppy. That all starts with a phone call where I can get the feel of you. You can get the feel of me. I give information and education freely. I don't set up little things on the YouTube channel where you got to pay to get into a room to learn something. I want to educate anybody and everybody that's willing to learn. And there's a lot of stuff that vets and other breeders don't tell you. Like, giant breed dogs inherently have health issues. You have to buy. Unless you're a bazillionaire that doesn't care how much money they spend, you have to buy quality, and you have to buy from a breeder that has generational, consistent genetic testing. Anything else, you are literally asking for medical problems and medical stuff, medical bills. If you ask any of my clients, our clients on our Facebook page, or our clients that you see, Vito, or any of the pups you know that I bred, ask my clients, are you ever at the vet? Do you ever have health issues, yeast infections, UTIs, issues, they're going to tell you no. They're on my Facebook page. If I'm not hearing it, you're not hearing it. So we're pretty proud of that. And that is the level that we are at as a team here. So that is more or less first and foremost. It's important that you know we don't sell to just anybody. We are not a puppy mill. Money alone does not buy a puppy from us. I need to get to know you. I need to know what are your intentions with one of our puppies. Because we here as a team at Bella Vista English Mastiffs have dedicated our lives to the quality and well-being of this majestic breed. I don't give two craps about the value of, money. I want to know, are you ready for a Mastiff? Are you going to take care of the pup? Are you going to feed it correctly? So it doesn't cost any more per se to feed a Mastiff, but all the best bloodlines in the world and all the genetic testing and OFA in the world is not going to give you a good quality mature Mastiff at 4, 5, 6, 7 and keep him pain-free if you don't feed him correctly. I am going to do a whole video, and if you look back on the videos, you may find one, on nutrition. We have certain things we feed for the dog to enhance the muscles and gut and all that. And I'm going to take a few minutes because I had a question come in here this morning from a viewer that is also on our Facebook page. And so before I get into the crux of what this video is about, the question was, can you explain conformation and why that's important, and then nutrition? So bear with me, I got to give a few minutes here of time because she's been a follower for a long time, and I am happy to help anybody. I don't care if you got the dog from me or not. I will tell you freely and openly, there are no other rooms that you have to pay to get into. What I do ask is for you to subscribe so that YouTube encourages and puts me in the algorithm so that other breeders can be educated as well. We can all learn something. I've been riding horses all my life. I have a level 2. I carried a $3 million bond. I showed AQHA and Morgan horse, AQHA and Morgan's, and I've ridden every type of horse. But we can all teach each other something. There were times I'd be in the arena giving lessons in the evening in the summer, and one of my students, I would give a direction to do something like this, to do a fly-in lead change, or how to change their diagonal. And then the student, sometimes young, would say something, and I would say, yes, that's another way to say it. So I think anybody that thinks they know everything about breeding dogs or Mastiffs or genetics or horses or anything is immature. I'm 59 years old. It takes a lifetime to know the breed, watch the breed, study the breed, learn the ins and outs of the breed, and learn the ins and outs of why genetic testing is the value of your puppy. I don't care what a breeder fills somebody's head. Most breeders in the United States like me and we all get along. I have lost a few people when I've said these next couple of things. When a breeder sells to a family with children or grandchildren, you're not just taking the parents on a ride, you're taking the children on a ride, their emotions, their love, their heart for the dog. It is your moral imperative to only breed if you have the best quality original dogs, parents, possible. And in the United States, there are no European lines. They're all swapping the same lines. I'm not saying they're not pretty dogs. I'm not saying they don't show and do well. They do. But why do I want to breed something that everybody else is breeding? Like, I'm not going to sell you my breeding lines if you don't have something comparable. And in my opinion, this has to do with not only a European structure and build of this Mastiff into what it's supposed to be, but this unparalleled genetic profile. I can keep my head on my pillow at night. My clients, most of them, 98%, all stay in my life. Why? Because I did what I promised to do. I let them join in from ground zero, from the from the progesterone testing right here in the whelping room, to the pregnancy testing, to the semen evaluation, to the ultrasound, to the whelp on a live feed video. And clients of mine that have now become friends appreciate being in on ground zero because they get to watch conception and everything to do with their puppy from the moment of the thought, we're going to breed Lily to Patton, whatever. So the question about nutrition is going to be in a whole other video. We believe feeding a Mastiff correctly is about the second most important, well, probably the third most important thing you can do. Number one, don't buy a Mastiff or any giant breed dog unless you're ready. And what that means is maybe you love giant dogs. My dogs are much bigger than American Mastiffs, so maybe you love giant breed dogs, but do your in-laws love giant breed dogs? How do your neighbors feel? How does your son's girlfriend feel that's used to frequenting your house? How does your daughter's boyfriend feel? I mean, there's a lot of variables when you have a pet. So just to be clear, those are the things to think about. I love when people that are Mastiff savvy call me. I've had about 4 calls in the last 2 days, people ready to go to contract. And just real quick, I will tell you, Gage's daughter, Bella Vista's Italian Lily, that Antonio in Italy named, she is being bred to Patton del Fracasso. There are 4 contracts on her. Rain, Bella Vista's Sweet New England Rain, Gage's daughter that looks that brindle with apricot hues, she's also being bred to Patton del Fracasso, the son of Cosimo. Gonna throw brindles, gonna throw a couple of fawns. Black is always dominant over fawn. Brindle is always dominant over fawn. Statistically, if you breed a brindle girl to a fawn male or a fawn female to a brindle male, you will statistically wind up, if there's 7 pups, probably 4 to 5 brindles, 2 fawns. So in the Lily breeding, people came to me because they wanted the dark brindle, and the 2 first male brindles are sold. They've been under puppy reserve contract for about 6 months. And there's a couple of other clients that have dogs from us from before that are waiting to see what else she throws. They may jump in. It's first come, first serve. So if you are thinking about a puppy from us, don't wait, because our puppies go very, very quickly. So Rain, Bella Vista's Sweet New England Rain, again, that brindle with the apricot hues, is being bred to Patton del Fracasso. These pups are going to be magnificent. And there are people all over the world watching our YouTube channel, and there are people and breeders all over the world on our Facebook page. Denmark, England, Rome, Sweden, the Netherlands, France. I have breeders all over the world that watch us. They know that we have Antonio's lines from Del Fracasso and that he's not shipping any breeding dogs to the United States. And so they look to what we do. I currently have a show person in France and a show person in England, all wanting pups out of the Rain breeding. So on the Rain breeding, I have, I'm keeping first pick Breeder's Choice Male. Scott and Leona are probably keeping first choice brindle female for our breeding program to maybe breed to Bruno, well, to breed to Bruno. I have somebody under contract for a fawn female going to upstate New York on rain. She's been under contract, puppy reserve, for about 4 months. And see, once you study genetics, you can study statistics. How does she know she's going to get brindles and fawns? Because I know statistics. I've been doing this a long time. So now, Bruno and Faith, the testing's been done. They are 100% genetically clear. That's Bella Vista's Gotta Have Faith, and Bella Vista, Boss Man Bruno's prodigy. I have not let anybody go to contract, a puppy reserve on them, but I have somebody that's been on my Facebook page for about 7 years now, and she would like a fawn female. So, because she has followed me and supported me for 7 years, I told her if a fawn female is born anywhere between Lily, Rain, or Faith, and you get that feeling in your heart, that's your puppy. Now, in the last 48 hours, I've had people call me about the first pick fawn male. I'm getting messages. Oh, okay, good. You can call me after the live. Awesome. Yeah, that's so good. So on the Bruno and Faith breeding, I have about 4 people wanting to go to puppy reserve on the first pick male fawn. I'm excited for that. I'm never going to be one of them people that says, oh, I have several people interested and then be BSing you. True story, I got 4 calls in the last 48 hours. And they all want first fawn male out of that breeding. So it requires a $500 puppy reserve that comes off the price of your puppy. And then you have from the point where you go to reserve till the day that they whelp, and then the 9 weeks that we keep pups for training and for potty training and all that stuff, you have all that time to come up with the balance. So listen, when I got Patton in from Italy, by the time you transfer your American money to euros, you pay for the nanny and the flight. It cost me a hair under $10,000 for Patton, a hair under $10,000 for Kiana, a hair under $10,000 for Gage, and a hair under $10,000 for Serafina Del Fracasso, who is the daughter of Franca Del Fracasso. I am currently about $150,000 invested into our breeding program. Like, this is why you got to take it serious. If you are getting a puppy from us, I am your breeder. We are your breeder. I answer the phone. I don't care if you call me at 10 o'clock at night. It bothers me when I hear breeders are selling puppies and then they bail on people. I don't get all that. I don't get it. Like, your name can get reported to AKC. And by the way, I'm going to throw this out there. When you're checking on a breeder and you're considering a puppy from a breeder, you have the right to call the Department of Agriculture in the state that breeder lives in and ask them if they have any paper on that breeder. Meaning, have they ever been in trouble? Have they ever been warned? Has anybody ever made a complaint? Has anybody ever, got them in a litigation? The state of Maine knows everything. And if you are breeding, you really want to have the Department of Agriculture in your friend zone. You want to be very transparent. And by the way, if you're in the state of Maine, animal welfare is law enforcement. Nobody has a right to tell an animal control agent. I just heard that there was an animal welfare agent tried to access 2 horses that were essentially sold without permission. We'll leave it at that. And the person that did the dirty deed proceeded to tell my friend who works for she's the highest person up in animal welfare and control for the state of Maine, she actually told my friend, I'm not going to tell you where they are. I'm not going to tell you how much I sold them for. I'm not going to tell you where they are. So when my friend called me, can you believe this played out like this? I said, wait a minute, you're law enforcement. What do you mean you let her tell you that she's not going to tell you where the animals are? She has to tell you. If, God forbid, animal welfare or animal control ever shows up at your address or anybody's address, they have a right to ask questions. Be transparent. Let them come in. Let them see. If you're doing everything right, you got nothing to worry about. So, real quick about the confirmation was the other question. What you'll notice about our dogs here is you're going to find a big, big blocky head, a short, very thick neck, a huge chest, a huge hip, and a beautiful top line from the wither to the crop of the tail. Big hip. The front paws should be standing directly under the shoulders facing forward. Okay, so like that. Under the shoulder, straight. Not out, not in. The paws should be directly under the shoulder in a straight line facing forward. Under the two shoulders. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer questions. The back paws should not be facing in or out. In horses, we call it cow-tipped. The back legs should be directly under the hip bone, facing forward, in line with the front paws. If you look on our YouTube channel of Bruno and Faith or Gage, all my dogs have a superior conformation, and it's important why the toes are not tipped in or out, because it's the alignment, right? With the hocks of the dog and the hip of the dog and all that. So conformation, you can Google it, is very important. Now, we don't sell breeding rights unless you have something better than me. But I'm not trying to corner the market. If you have something comparable and you are looking for a full AKC puppy, and you are not trying to pay your bills or pay your mortgage off and, buy a Maserati, I don't believe any animal should be bred to pay your bills. Your bills should be paid and then you breed them. And you should only breed if you have the best. So that's where I lose some people. Oy. All right. So as May is approaching, May is coming closer. I have too much lipstick on. I can feel it. As May gets closer, we're getting flooded with calls. The people under Puppy Reserve are safe, but we're going to wind up with a few pups left over that may be available. I can tell you that I have clients that have not gone to paper yet, but when pups hit the ground, so to speak, they're going to snatch them up quickly. It is better off to do your phone call and go to Puppy Reserve. The Puppy Reserve comes off the final cost of the puppy. It also tells me you're serious. So, and we do not reserve puppies for people that don't go to reserve. Oh my God, every day I have people messaging me on social media going, can you make sure there's a female pup out of XYZ and I'll be in touch with you then? No. No, we don't do that. If you take what we do seriously, I'll take you seriously. But we do not hold or reserve puppies without a name, first name and a last name, what you're going to do with the puppy, are you prepared to care for the puppy, and then a reserve. Why? If I took an unofficial reserve for everybody and allowed just a list, forget about it. I would have every puppy reserved and nobody under contract. So no, breeding life is too important to me, and if you're serious about me, I'll take you seriously. So get your phone call over with. You be transparent with me, I'll be transparent with you. I will tell you what we do here. We worm 2, 4, 6, and 8 weeks. We microchip, we do weekly fecal tests. You pick your collar color, that's your color for the duration. You FaceTime your puppy. I will do claws. We ultrasound a couple of times on the ultrasound machine with the big screen TV. Everything I do, you watch on the live, on the Facebook Live. You're watching it, so you get to be in at ground zero. But, I mean, don't you want a better quality dog? I bought the best so you could have the best. We bought the best so you could have the best. So that really is what matters. And right now there's 4 people that are waiting to go under contract for Bruno and Fate's first pick fawn male. First pick fawn female is already accounted for. That pup is going to Connecticut to a person that's been following me for about 7 years. And anyway, first pick fawn female out of Bruno and Faith is accounted for. If you're looking for first pick fawn male, got to get that paper done. So I can it starts your journey. I had to make notes. So let me just stay on task. I've described the conformation. I'm going to do a whole other video on why we feed what we feed. Because I want to tell you something. The best bloodlines in the world and the best genetic testing in the world is not going to keep your dog at 5 or 6 or 7 healthy and strong and active if you don't feed them correctly. So I'm going to do a whole talk on that. I'm also going to do a talk on why I don't believe in the laparoscopy. We're just going to touch base on another video on that. So as May gets closer, we're getting flooded with calls. I wanted to come on and discuss how things work here at Bella Vista English Mastiffs. We are not every other breeder. We do things pretty differently. And, you know, it's been our life's work and joy to have this majestic breed in our lives. So if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did, because it sends a message to YouTube, and then they'll promote us to other people that want to hear the message about having and what it's like to care for a Mastiff before you purchase. So I really want to thank all of our amazing clients, past and present, for supporting us over the many years we've been doing this. You truly make this fun, or funner. Sometimes I talk a little silly, but yeah, my clients make this funner. You know, it's important that we all stick together and that we support each other. If you know something that maybe somebody else doesn't know, you've had a bad experience with a product or a drug or something you've given to your Mastiff, you can go on the Facebook page and make a post and just do like FYI, I did this or I did that. When Lily was a baby, Patton, she was playing with Patton, and she bit him right here, playfully, and his mouth swelled up. So his face is so perfect, my first thing I did was rushed him to the vet, and the doctor at the time put him on Ostifen, O-S as in Stephen, O-S-T-I-F-E-N. And he had a reaction to it. And I had to call Antonio in Italy, bawling my eyes out. Thank God it's 6 hours later there. So from now on, you know, my advice is before you give your Mastiff anything, take a few minutes to do research, get the knowledge, see if there's reviews, good or bad, and then proceed forward. So, all right, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Wanted to sort of get with you guys and tell you we're getting a lot of calls. We're pretty excited because May is coming. We have a lot going on here in our world, and it's exciting. So everybody's being pretty lazy here today. And but we're looking forward to May. If you are under puppy reserve right now, the best is yet to come. We're going to have so much fun together. And I know I've gotten calls of people under puppy reserve already that they're picking names, really cool names. And every once in a while I put a list of really cool Mastiff names, and you can pick from that or name the pup whatever you want. I don't do what Antonio does. Antonio goes by the alphabet, which is how I came to name Kiana, Qiana. He was on Q. It was hard. It was very hard to pick a cool Mastiff name with the letter Q. And I'll tell you something funny. When Kiana's litter was born, other pups in that litter were named like Queen and this and that and Quinn and all this, and I couldn't think of a name. So I said, and she's 4 now, what if, Antonio, I said, what if I use the Q like a K, and I call her Kiana? And he goes, that's cool, that's beautiful. So I wrote it out for him, Qiana. When she was fixing to come home and everything was done through ENCI, through Italy, and the flight was booked and the nanny was got, and to fly into Boston, the paperwork that he mailed me said Qiana, Quiana. And at that time, 4 years ago, there was a tropical storm named Quiana that killed about a few hundred people in the tropics. And so I called Antonio back and I said, listen, everything we do is about integrity here. Them papers got to be changed. What? It's just a name. Nobody's going to see her name. I said, Antonio, I'm going to see her name. Whatever it's going to cost, you bill me for it. But I cannot have this precious girl be named something that is the spelling of a tropical storm that killed a bunch of people. I said, please, reissue the paperwork, and it's Qiana, Kiana. He said, all right. So it cost us, I don't know, another $150, but I got her paper straightened out. So her name is not Quiana. That was a bad tropical storm. Her name is Kiana. I am going to breed her to patent again, and I can tell you she probably will have 4 puppies, and there's a client of mine that has 2 females in New Hampshire, and he's always wanted a big male fawn out of Kiana and patent, and if that gentleman says he wants that fawn male would be accounted for. All the other 3 or 4 or whatever would be available. They would go very quickly because people have wanted that combination. So if you have any questions, my husband made me a cake. Don't worry about it, he says. He made what kind of cake is that you made me? Raspberry what? He doesn't know. It's raspberry something, but it is so good. It's not a box cake, he wants you to know. So, all right. Well, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to hit some points here. Feel free to call us, 207-694-1200. We are so excited that May is coming. I am going to have another big announcement in the next week. I can't talk about it right now, but for those of you that have been with me for many, many, many years, it's going to be no big deal, but it's important in a sense. So, yeah, we're not going to talk about it right now, but something's going to happen next week that's going to be interesting. It's pretty big, and but we're not going to talk about it today. So sorry to aggravate you with that, but you got to follow next week. So, all right, if you're my client, send me some cool videos of those babies acting adorable so I can post them on YouTube. If you are watching us on the YouTube channel, please subscribe so that YouTube understands, to send Bella Vista into the algorithm and promote us to other breeders, and so that we can educate people about this amazing, majestic breed. If you know anybody that's subscribed to YouTube and they don't mind subscribing to this channel, I'd appreciate that too. When it comes to when the puppies are born, you'll need to be subscribed. That's kind of a thing. But all right, my number is 207-694-1200. 207-694-1200. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Sunday. I hope you're having good weather wherever you're at. I need another cup of coffee. We will talk to you soon. Have a great day.